That's recording.
Is there any marshmallows?
No. Are we rolling? We're gonna roll some fire? I'm gonna walk right through this fire. I'm gonna get a little higher. Gonna let these flames lead me to the light.
20 years of Great Big Sea, right? And in all that time, well, really, let's say 18 years with Great Big Sea, and you hadn't released a solo record. You hadn't made your own solo record. Is that correct?
Yep.
So then, in the past 3 years, you've made 3.
I really started to write freely after Fortune's Favor record with Hawksley Workman. I got to give him credit. He came in and heard in me. I showed him some lyrics, had some pieces of songs that he said they are good enough. You should be at this. And we ended up using a lot of my material to make that record, more than we had in the past. He started me writing. I never stopped after that. That was 6 or 7 years ago now. And then it just got exponentially worse as time went on. But it became something that I wanted to do, and it added, you kind of find the meaning of your own life through that experience, right? Minds are made to wander, hearts to beat like thunder, burning the flames. I'll find out who I am. I'm not the guy in the band that wants to play so much as the writing of the songs is what's more interesting to me. But to get them on records, it is always consensus, it's very frustrating, but it's necessary in a band. And we're 3 equal partners type thing, and consensus can kill a song, I think.
Right.
You can
Sure.
over-democratize a mix like crazy, and we're guilty of that.
That was great, but yeah, just be conscious of ending your phrases in a similar way in the choruses. Consistency.
And, it's just, after a while, after 20 years, that became, or 18 years or whatever, you just kind of I just want to do this my way. I'm tired of sitting on a ball that's spinning, tired of sleeping my way through, tired of buying tickets and never winning. I'm tired of me and I'm tired of you, tired of me and I'm tired of you.
Everybody has this kind of rock and roll dream, right? This quote-unquote rock and roll dream, which you guys had, and you still get to do, but then it gets to the place where what is really satisfying you, right? And I guess that's why all of a sudden there's these 3 solo records in 3 years. There's a reason you need to do it.
Good morning. Day 1. The recording begins. Just woke up. Gonna go for a run. The real Sean McCann is not the guy that you see on stage singing Mary Mac. That's not real at all. There's nothing real about that. The power that comes out of me is real.
There it is. Oh yeah, man.
It's a show, and it's, you can never complain about it because you get paid money, people clap, everyone's happy. But the fact of the matter is, you do that for 200 dates a year, and it does get boring, and it is hard on the head. Good morning. Run, gonna run, gonna run, gonna run. You're not always in that headspace. I don't always live Paddy Murphy, and it's I can't complain about it because it's giving me a great living and stuff. But what I'm trying to do is get beyond it, because that thing that brings you to the top of this mountain. I've seen the mountain. Becomes a wall pretty quick too, right? That you have to climb every night to be that, right? It's intimidating, and for a while I had stage fright. I drank a lot just to get to that place so I could do it. Crack another bottle, raise another glass. And a lot of musicians do it. I live the cliche. The stereotype is true. Red wine, whiskey, whiskey. Red wine, whiskey, whiskey. Red wine, whiskey, whiskey. or we're going to sing the same songs every night for 5 years or 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
it becomes a bit of a sentence after a while, you know. And again, I have every bit of respect for it. I'm doing it. I mean, it's work. I'm a hard-working man. But if it's just that, I will go crazy. I am not an animal. I am a man.
This new record that you've let me listen to, that you did with Joel, this is not even in the ballpark of
No.
what someone would expect for you. Like, not like, even when I heard it, like, this is like not I wouldn't even been able to have 30 guesses on the direction it might have taken.
A lot of those songs were written in the woods here. I quit drinking about 18 months ago now, and the songs started to change like very quickly. Right? And I didn't want. I'll tell you what I don't want. If you're going to have a solo career that doesn't make very much money or no money,
Right.
why would you do it so you set yourself up so you'd have to sing the same songs every night for 20 years? Like, I've learned that lesson. I don't want to do that. Here again we stand. I had a bunch of songs, and I knew Joel was putting a studio together. I sent him a bunch of songs. He liked a bunch of them. And I always wanted to work with him. And we ended up pushing those songs somewhere completely different. What I wanted was to be a very sincere record. I really wanted to find myself through the songs. I lost my way. I was looking for a brighter day. I've seen the end. Now I'm ready to start again. And I have a cyst on my vocal cord, which was very nerve-wracking at the time.
Yeah.
We were talking about it because we had to go in the studio. And I was singing with him, trying to find keys. Unveil a sky so blue.
Dig it, man. Don't hurt your voice.
And he said, yeah, no, I'm still hearing power in that, right? And then we agreed that we'd catch the power. We'd go for the songs that had the power I could sing, that he could catch vocally. And that kind of dictated the 10 songs. From a heart I just had to break.
Thank you. Perfect.
Oh.
From wind that just had to break. All right.
From a fart I just had to break. And the songs, without being explicit or specific, deal with a bunch of issues.
This is a personal record. Like, I mean, is this just like personal the way songwriters are personal, or are you confessing a lot of things on this?
For a long time now, I've been drinking way too much, leaning on this crutch as we've been losing touch. This is that. This is
It's that one.
That's that record, yeah. The first one was an attempt at that kind of went off the rails, but it was more about my kids changing my life. This is about me changing my life. Lullabies for Bloodshot Eyes was my children changed my life. Yes, they did. And then now I'm changing it deliberately. I don't want you anymore. This time I know for sure. Gonna get back on my feet and walk right out the door. I don't want you anymore. It's an uncertain time. I don't know where I'm going to be next year, right? I'm going to be out of a job. I don't know what I want to do next. I know I want to
be out of a job.
Well, I'm not going to be on the road.
Right.
You know, we've come to some consensus that this is not the place for me to be. You know, I've gone to the band and said, look, I don't think I'm a good partner. I might work for them in the future. To be honest, I just want to not be a shareholder. A new day begins. A spoon clinking in a coffee tin.
Okay, here it is. I mean, I was going to ask the question, but I think it's more of a blanket statement because you've told me. I feel like this was a record where you probably have learned or were learning more about yourself, about who you are, what you wanted. Right?
Sure.
So my question is, why is it that you just want to go from making a solo record that you may not even release what is it about that appeals you as opposed from going out and playing Patty Murphy in 80 shows and making the money that you need to pay your bills?
Man is free to wander, steal and beg and squander. The love he gets, he cannot understand. I'm so sick of the business, the state of denial the music business is in. Like, that's what a load of bullshit I'm hearing from agents and managers and labels for the last 10 years. And it's just still the same story, man. Are you my manager or are you my damager? This is extremely frustrating for me. Like, I don't mind, you know what? I don't mind getting up and pretending to be Patty Murphy. I don't mind doing that. I can do that for money. But I'm really having a problem with the arguments about how to go about that and the logistics of getting a crew of 6 or 7 people to do it and paying them for a year and the reasons you do what you do. I don't really know who runs the whole show, who calls the sinners and saints, where I'm bound to go, be it high or below. I know I'll be first at the gates. I'm interested in a band that's interested in changing and being motivated by today and trying to get somewhere like next.
It happens. It's like it's the be careful what you wish for in music, which I've come in contact with talking to musicians. It's insane. It's be careful what you wish for.
So I wish you well, heaven or in hell. I'll send you my best, 'cause I'm done giving you all the rest. Solo. And it's hard to complain because what are you, a poor little rock star now? You know?
Right.
But you know, unless I don't want to blame anybody. I just, like, if you want to change your life, change your fucking life.
Right.
Give me an H. Give me an O. Give me a P.
Here it comes.
I think the status quo is not good enough. Never was for me anyway. But I managed to drink enough to let myself believe that it was all right for the last 5 years, and I can't. I'm sober, and I just can't do it now. I can't. So please leave me now with this, a final parting kiss. Our troubles now are over, no story left to tell. Lover, I wish you well.
So then this record, the writing of these songs, then, from what you're saying, you weren't drinking at all. When you
No.
wrote these, and when you did the first 2 solo records, you were still drinking a bit of wine or whatever it might have been. Red wine,
Oh yeah,
whiskey,
well,
whiskey.
red wine. I would say red wine and whiskey was. I was definitely drinking when I wrote that. But other than that, woohoo!
So tell me about the experience with what you do with Joel and how it's different than anything you've done. Because for me, it's always like where somebody records something, the town in which it's recorded is almost as important sometimes as the content itself. Like the place you are can really help shape a record.
How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. I've learned that any person in a room, whatever vibe that person has, that'll end up on tape. Like, that'll be on a song. You'll hear that or feel it somehow. God damn them all. There's a squall, McCann's not going home no more. He's stuck in Dartmouth. Second time this month, 'cause Air Canada's a bunch of fucking cunts.
That's the Barrett's fucking.
Joel is a vision. He is in Dartmouth. He's built a studio in the face of a declining industry. I'm pretty sure he's going to expand. He's got an apartment for bands. It's kind of like Chess Records or Motown. Joel Plaskett making hits so you don't have to.
Right.
I'm gonna add the rock and roll beat and see what happens.
Plaskett's ears never lie, you know. But his vision is, you'd literally, a band like me, I'd show up, he'd have his buddies there, they'd be the band, he'd produce it, he'd record it, and you walk out and there's a record, like Sun Records. Oh yeah, the crowd goes wild. Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll. Yeah. Music is my religion, and it's Joel's too.
sound is so different, and I wonder how much of that was Joel, and how much did you think that this is what these songs would sound like?
Keep up with the plasket. Fast.
I like it, man. This is great. This is working quick.
He doesn't mess around. He just
Get down to it.
gets in just decisive. Are you my producer or are you my reducer?
I'm your confuser.
The songs make sense to me on a guitar. I use loops and stuff to generate demos, and there's a big difference in the demos I had and what we ended up with. In fact, what I thought would happen would be some of my demos were more an attempt to sound like Joel, I thought, in retrospect. Some weird, quirky, like fashionable people stuff. And I was using all these weird, quirky stuff, and I thought this pop influence would come in. And what came in was this like R&B, kind of solid, old-time, not rock and roll, I think it's R&B. I don't even know how to describe it. It's certainly not in my lexicon. I've got the records, but I never sang them before.
Right.
It was just, a different funk groove all together, something that I am unfamiliar with. So his band, him and Aaron Costello on piano, and Dave Marsh on drums, him on bass. There it was.
Yeah, no, it was a tidy band. Actually, I was really, for me, it was exciting. I mean, I always know I can count on Dave because I've played so much with him, and he's such an exceptional drummer. And his taste is also great because he has a sense of arrangement, and he's not afraid to say, "What about this? I don't think that works,"
Or it's not done.
Or it's not done. Clive is great as a player and as a him and Dave go back a long way, and him and Aaron are an item, so it was like a great fit. Aaron, I think, is a real heavyweight. The best is right off the bat, you start soloing. That's fucking great. You know what I mean? It's like, but it's on gin and tonic, Coke and rum. But it's just great. It's like, oh, we're here already. Like that's what's great.
Was it for the liquor?
Yeah.
That's it.
So tell me about the song that you're singing about your mom.
Oh, that's a love song to my mom. I hope she sees it that way too. But I'm not confident. I'm a bit nervous about it. I didn't write it myself. Joel has a mom too. Hold me, mother, I've met my match. Show me a family with no strings attached. I was afraid. I mean, it came from a sense like, what? I don't know how many years I have left. I want to have these decisions. I want to have these open discussions about my life and ask questions about her life. Now I'm a singer in search of a song to do what is right and to right what was wrong. Religion came in and out of my life, and a lot of weird stuff because I'm on the cusp of that. You're a little younger, so you probably didn't have any. Religion probably meant nothing to you, but in my life it was still kind of the last legs were priests and nuns that had power, right?
Yeah.
When I was 15, I met the Pope. When I was 16, I met rum and coke. You were so disappointed when I left him behind to find me a faith that wasn't so blind. You don't need to be young to be wasting your day. You don't need to be old to be
So this is a new experience for you, having songs like that, and to have someone ask you questions about it. Because what I've always found, especially when I've done longer interviews, is that musicians tend to really like having those conversations, because the music really does, as cliche as it sounds, that music really does become their therapy. It does become their outlet, you know?
Got a shrink who bills me by the second, trying to sell me some therapy. A life coach looking for my inner power. Maybe she just wants to sleep with me. For me, it's replaced drugs and alcohol and bunches. You know, it's become the only therapy. I foolishly I haven't used a therapist per se, and I'm not advocating that anyone should try it that way. But I instantly went from my sobriety was instantly into music. As kind of my family music, but big crutch, and it's the only one I'm still hanging on to. I know Jesus really loves me because the Bible tells me so, but I'm not waiting around here for Jesus, but when I'm gone, he can have my soul. It might sound a cliche, but it is true for me. If I get stressed out, I get in the woods here, I have my phone, I sing little melodies, thoughts come to me, but I need to kind of be in these trees. This is exactly where I go. It helps, man. It makes sense. It reaffirms, just like God used to, you know, in that kind of weird sense. Or I guess like a therapist could probably talk things out. I prefer to not.
You don't need nobody else. You just need to help yourself.
So do you think that you'll take this record and you'll perform the songs?
I will, but I don't want to be in a band again. I honestly don't look forward to that.
So what do you do?
I'll go anywhere. If I can bring my guitar and my boron and probably my dog. Tosh! What I'm certain of, and technology's allowed for it now, with these, like we're doing it now, friends and technology, you can record a song and you can release it, and you can even sell it if you want to if you're crazy enough to ask for money. And that for me will be enough. All by myself. Don't wanna be all by myself. I'm gonna be. You don't need nobody else. You just need to help yourself. You don't need nobody else. You just need to help yourself.
To me, it seems like you've gone from someone who's been a performer his whole life to someone who now just wants to create.
Challenge is getting past people's preconceptions of what they expect from you, and that's, I think, probably what you may wrestle with a little bit more, only because the band that you're a part of has such a huge, massive identity.
For a very kind of focused.
Yeah, it's a very focused thing. So it's kind of like, oh, you know, Eminem made a folk record, you know.
That's what we should do. We should do a rap.
Yeah.
But I guess that's probably what brought me here in the first place too, right?
But I don't know, man. I
get
think
some Joel Plaskett and rub it all over me.
Yeah. Well, let's not go too far here.
I was acting, but I wasn't very good at it. People knew I wasn't very particularly happy. I'm not the happy guy.
Yeah,
right?
but you're performing. So when you do Mary Mac and you do these songs,
yeah, I do put the mask on for sure. But it's getting harder. That mask is getting heavy. Could be argued that this is all a waste of time. Just wave to me, guys. Say, hey. Say, Sean, you're great.
Good luck, Sean. Good luck.
So that's where you've gone. You've gone from being a performer who did write songs, and you guys are putting your own creative vision into these traditional songs, and there's an art to that. There's no doubt about it. But it seems like where your life is going is like you don't even want to perform as much anymore, as much as you just want to find a way to create these songs, and hopefully people hear them.
I should somehow distribute this record before we make the next one, but I'm not going to hold myself to that.
I think you can. I think you got to get it out there. It'll find its home, man. It's just a matter of if you build it, they will come.
Let it be, let it be, let it be. I'm also not interested in developing a brand. I don't want there to be a Sean McCann brand. That's insane, and that's where everyone loses me. I was like, dudes, I don't want to build a brand anymore because I know what after 20 years what happens.
Whoa.
Oops.
if the opportunity arose, would you take this new record out on the road and do 100 shows?
Gonna run, gonna run, gonna run from you and me.
What's the name of the record first? I always tell people the name of the record is.
Help yourself.
All right.
Help yourself.
There you go. Fitting. The record starts with the line, "Tell me where you're going, show me where you've been." That's how the record starts.
Tell me where you're going, show me where you've been. Open up your heart, let me in.
Tired of never knowing what you're gonna do. Don't just stand there, walk right through.
Tell me where you're going, show you where you've been. Were Joel's lines.
Okay.
The 10 songs, once we had the power thing sorted out, where the guts were, he added those lines because he wanted to, and he heard girls singing. He wanted to introduce, to him it was a road that told a bit of a story. Because I'd been honest with him, I told him, like, here's where I am, Joel. I'm sober. I know, I've been, and I have, my reputation is kind of volatile at best. But he hears it all. I spill my guts, hold me, mother, all out there, and he puts it all together. We assemble it, and he adds this at the last minute. So this is the beginning of the story because he sees the record.
He does. He's a concept guy.
He's a concept guy, and if this is the wall, like this is my wall. This tells a story. So it starts in "You're lost." Show me where you're going. I'm in the woods here, and in the end is I found my way out, and it's Andrea and my family. I get there.
To me, yeah, it's like this is like this is the story the record laid out in the first song, and it's always easier. I find it easier to produce a record when I can really understand what we're diving into, what the feel in the songs, and really what the whole purpose of the entire thing is about. Which I really feel like this record has a bit of that journey, and there's a soul. It's like a soul-searching record, and so I kind of like. But yeah, you want something to hang. You need something to hang your hat on when you walk in the room and go, okay, now I'm here.
Pride is hard to swallow, and light is hard to follow. Truth is hard to see when you close your eyes. Words unspoken, that look in your eyes.
Yeah.
Our love is frozen in the eyes.
Yeah.
that bit of darkness that I had to go through, and actually we went through, into the red wine and whiskey, out through Hold Me Mother, into heading for the light, seeing, and almost there, and then stronger, and then for a long time now I was fucked up, and things were wrong, but here we are again. And we'll stay that way. That's the ambition. So it is that story. It's not a new story, but it's my version of that story, and it's true. Every friggin' word.
And then it ends with "I'll remember who you were, and I'll stay in love with you." And I think at first when I thought that was about your wife.
It is.
Is it about your wife?
Yeah, for sure. For a long time now, we have been apart, a pair of lonely hearts beating in the dark. And I remember what you wore when I fell in love with you.
But the reality of is that for like people who are watching this, you're just making music and you just wanted to get to them somehow, and you're not even sure what that means, and if it costs you, if it's going to cost them anything, or what you're going to make, you're not even considering.
I'm interested in it comes from right from my heart right into your ear. It just feels right to get it there that way. That's the ideal, and maybe that's crazy, altruistic and idealistic, but it's the old way. Elvis walked into Sun Records, they recorded a record, he walked out with a record, they sold a record.
It's changing times, man, but I think it still starts with good music, and so...
It's changing times, and you're here with 2-inch tape.
Yes. I refuse.
I refuse.
I think we're in a good zone here at the studio. We're kind of starting to find our feet. Your record was a huge part of the learning curve, right? In fact, it was the learning curve, at the beginning for sure, because we hadn't really...
So I'll get a discount on the next one.
potentially. Or either that, or it's going to get real expensive.
Well, that's it, man. It seems like it took you a while, but maybe you've really found that exactly what music is supposed to do to people. Maybe it's taking you a while.
Yeah, I often wonder what I'm supposed to be doing, and I know I'm starting. Well, you learn from experience. You burn your hand on the stove. You don't go back. And,
Yeah.
I'm not sure where I'm going to go, but I know music's going to be with me. It's you're never alone when you got a guitar in your hand. And I'll stay in love with you for a long time. You don't need nobody else, you just need to help yourself. You don't need nobody else, you just need to help yourself. You don't need nobody else, you just need to help yourself. You don't need nobody else, you just need to help yourself.
I think even right there, it's just boom, help yourself. Like I think that could be our ending. If there's no more.